The Gibbon Rehabilitation Project is a non-profit, non-government organization, or an NGO. It is made up of 9 incredibly dedicated and hardworking staff who spend most of their days at the center doing everything they can to educate the public as well as promote a positive and healthy space for the Gibbons to be able to live their days as permanent members of the center or engage in the rehabilitation process for those white-handed Gibbons that are successfully integrated back into the forest. The project was established in 1992 in response to the Thai government establishing laws which made it illegal to own certain types of different wildlife, gibbons being one of them. The objectives of the project are to develop a method to successfully rehabilitate white-handed gibbons back into their wild home here on Phuket. To end the demand for gibbons is used as wild photo props as well as tourist attractions or as illegal pets. They use an educational approach in order to raise awareness for locals as well as tourists on the plight of gibbons and how they end up in these unnatural situations. In the early 1980s, gibbons were completely extinct from the island of Phuket. Therefore, another objective of the project is to repopulate these forests in Phuket with wild populations of white-handed gibbons. Finally, another objective of the project is to develop an awareness of the conservation of the wild forests that we have around us. We work hard with the local villages and communities to stress the importance of keeping these wild spaces wild, as opposed to cutting them down in order to make room for farming or other types of development for humans. While the Gibbon Rehabilitation Project has been successful in releasing families back into the wild, sadly the statistics are not where we would like them to be. Since 1992, there's also been 200 gibbons through the center, and 70% of those gibbons are unfortunately unable to be released back into the wild, primarily because of diseases that have been transmitted through human contact, or additionally as because they are a species that is non-native to the island of Phuket. Because gibbons share 95% of their DNA with us, they are susceptible to many of the same diseases that can be transmitted between humans and gibbons. The most common disease found in the gibbons coming through the center is hepatitis B. As well, there has been cases of HIV, herpes, tuberculosis, and rabies. This is mainly due because of the human-to-human, human-to-gibbon contact within local restaurants and bars when a gibbon just becomes too aggressive and bites a human, or transmitted through sharing of drinks through straws in the saliva contact from humans to gibbons. While the GRP is an NGO, they still work in close contact with the Thai government. They believe it is their responsibility to promote educational understanding how gibbons can be most successfully held in captivity while they await their time to arrive to the GRP. Another fun fact is that the GRP was in place here in Phuket long before any of the centers that were established by the government were even constructed. So they have a lot of background knowledge and expertise to share in terms of construction in enclosures, as well as educating them of how to go about the process of bonding males and females in order to create successfully mating pairs. Through lots of trial and error, the Gibbon Rehabilitation Project has discovered that gibbons are most successfully released into the forest if they are a mating bonded pair. Because there are many facilities around the country of Thailand that are focused on confiscation and surrendered gibbons, they are not technically rehabilitation sites. Therefore, it's important that the Gibbon Rehabilitation Project feels it's their responsibility to help educate them on that bonding process. Because we are at max capacity here at the center, we rely on the facilities around the island and the country to also be knowledgeable about that process, so when they do come here, that they are more quickly able to potentially be rehabilitated and released because they are already in those bonded pairs. Currently, there are approximately 80 gibbons around the country of Thailand in these government facilities waiting their turn to come to the Gibbon Rehabilitation Project for their chance at being released back into the wild.